Good evening, Sampath.
Good evening, ma'am.
We'll start class, and if somebody else wants to join, then they can join. Okay, so we were doing socialism in Europe and Russian
Russian
Revolution.
Revolution.
Yeah, open your book.
Yes.
Hi, Pranav. So let's do a
Good
quick
evening, ma'am.
revision. Good evening.
Ma'am, I have an exam tomorrow, ma'am. Social duty.
Social what?
Social exam, ma'am.
Which chapter?
Constitution design and why democracy and what is democracy.
So do you want us to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the first one? Social constitutional design.
Constitutional design. Yes, ma'am.
And then what is democracy? Okay. Let me see if I have.
Ma'am, can you also tell the important questions in this lesson?
I uh, if you give me a heads up, no, it will be easier for me to take out important questions for you. But I'll see what I can do.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So first of all, we have what is the appeal system? Who was Nelson Mandela? Okay, so he was a nationalist leader of South Africa who fought against racial discrimination. What would have happened if in South Africa, if the black majority had decided to take revenge? Okay, now violence would have erupted. Okay, and bloodshed would have taken place. A great loss of life and property would have taken place. Like it happened in India during the uh, partition. A lot of communal riots took place, and what happened? The result was a lot of loss of life. Okay, now this is important, and let me tell you what is segregation. Okay, so segregation at all the public places like train, buses, school, hospital, benches, etc. were separate for the blacks and the whites. Okay, even the churches were separate. The black people were forbidden from living in white areas, and this is called segregation. If it is a small question answer, small, then you should write. If it is a longer one, you have to write in detail. Next is important. This is also important. What is apartheid? Okay, the apartheid system was the policy of racial segregation. It was a system of racial segregation under which all people were classified and separated on the basis of race. Many restrictions were imposed on the blacks who formed more than 80%. Let me take a longer answer for this. Okay. So the apartheid system was partially oppressive for the blacks. Okay, it was particularly oppressive for the blacks, justified by giving three reasons. Okay, now they were forbidden from living in white areas. They could work in white areas only if they had permit. Train, buses, taxis, hotels, hospitals, schools and colleges, libraries, cinema halls, theaters, benches, swimming pools, public toilets, even the stairs were separate for the whites and the blacks. So this was called segregation. They could not even visit the churches where the whites worshipped. Blacks could not form associations or protest against the terrible treatment. Okay, next important was, let me say, yeah, what is the Constituent Assembly? The drafting of the document was called the Constitution, was done by the Assembly of elected representatives called the Constituent Assembly. There were 99 members in the Constituent Assembly. Okay, let us take this answer in detail. The Constituent Assembly was the representative body of the people of India. Explained examples. Okay, now the assembly was dominated by the Indian National Congress. Okay, remember this, were dominated by Indian National Congress. Many important political leaders were also its members. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Dr. Shyam Prasad Mukherjee, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Mrs. Sarojini Naidu, and Sardar Baldev Singh were its important members who guided the discussion of the Constituent Assembly. Now, there were more than 30 members belonging to the scheduled caste. Minorities like the annual Indians had Frank and Anthony as its representative. The Parsi community was represented by H.P. Modi. Some constitutional experts like Aladi Krishna Swami Iyer, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and K.M. Munshi were also present there. Mrs. Sarojini Naidu and Mrs. Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit were the two leading women in India in the Constituent Assembly. Okay, the members deliberated for 114 days over 3 years. If you can just remember, try and memorize these names of those who were in the Constituent Assembly. This will get you extra marks. Okay. Okay, this is important. Describe any five, or you can say the preamble. Okay, the preamble is sovereign. People have supreme right to make decisions or internal as well as external matters. No external power can dictate the government of India. Okay, now the socialist. Wealth is generated socially and should be shared equally by society. Government should regulate the ownership of land and industry to reduce socio-economic inequalities. Third is secular. Citizens have complete freedom to follow any religion, but there is no official religion. Government treats all religion beliefs and practices with equal respect. Means we are secular. Okay, republic. The head of the state is an elected person and not a hereditary position. Liberty. There are no reasonable restrictions on the citizens in what they think, how they wish to express their thoughts, and the way they wish to follow up their thoughts in action. Equality. All are equal before the law. The traditional social inequalities have to be ended. The government should ensure equal opportunities for all. Fraternity. All of us should behave as if we are members of the same family, that is brotherhood. No one should treat a fellow citizen as inferior. Justice. Okay, this is the eighth one. Citizens cannot be discriminated on the grounds of caste, religion, or gender. Social inequalities have to be reduced. Government should work for the welfare of all, especially of the disadvantaged group. Okay, so you have to the preamble is important. Okay, the preamble is important. Okay, this one is also there. Express the basic ideas accepted by all leaders before drafting the constitution. What was the ground of framing the constitution? What did they want? What was the basic foundation on which the constitution of India was made? So there were three basic guidelines were there. Okay, the first one is prior to framing. Okay, this is the first one. Prior to framing of the Indian constitution, our constitution makers had gone through the constitution nearly 60 countries. Okay, they studied 60 countries of how their constitutions were made, and especially they relied on the constitution made by South Africa. Fine. They also studied the various acts passed by the British government and the emotions adopted by the Congress party. This study enabled the makers of the constitution to select the best provisions from different sources, but on our own terms. So they picked here and there from 60 countries, and then from the British government and the emotions adopted by the Congress party. Okay, now second guideline is some of the main provisions of our constitution and their original sources are given below. That is A. This is to be noted that our constitution makers did not initiate what others had done. They selected and modified the contents according to India perspective. Okay, at each step, they also questioned or judged the legitimacy of various provisions. Okay, so these are the three basic guidelines. This often comes, why do we need a constitution and what do constitutions do? Okay, so let's get to study this answer. The constitution of a country is set on written rules and what is that they are accepted by all the people living together in the country. The constitution is a supreme law. It is kind of a rule book, okay, that determines the relationship among the people living in a territory that is called citizens. Okay, the relationship of the citizens and also the relationship between the people and the government. Okay, important specifications are, it specifies how the government will be constituted, who will have the power to make what decision. Okay, now next is, first is the specification, the second is trust and coordination. It generates a degree of trust and coordination that is necessary for different kinds of people to live together. Okay, rights and duties, it lays down rights and duties, it lays down the limits on the power of the government and tells us what the rights of the citizens are. Okay, next is good society. It expresses the aspirations of the people about creating a good society. So this is important. Yes. What is the constitution? Why do we need a constitution? Okay. It could come under the question many different. It could question could come in different. What is constitution? What is important of the constitution? And why do we need a constitution? Or explain the constitution. Anyway, you should answer this. Okay, in this way. The salient features of constitution are the salient features or they'll ask you the salient features, or you can say the preamble. Okay, you have to write the eight. We have eight salient features are different. People are masters and have supreme rights to take decisions. Wealth is shared. This is the same. The preamble, just study the preamble. What was Mahatma Gandhi's contribution to the Constitution of India? But although he was not a member of the, he was, don't write Mahatma Gandhi's name when you write the members of the Constituent Assembly, because he was not there, he was not the member of for making the Constitution, but his ideas were taken. Although Mahatma Gandhi was not a member of the Constituent Assembly, there were many members who followed his vision. His ideas and his vision was taken. Now, according to his magazine, Young India in 1931, he wanted to release India from all thraldom and patronage. He emphasized on political equality. That was what was his ideas. It also said the question could come on this way also. He thought India as a country where the people of all communities would live in perfect harmony. And he wanted India where there could be no room for the curse of untouchability. He was very much against untouchability. And women would enjoy the same right as men. State the steps involving the framing of the Indian Constitution. Mention the landmarks. You can study this. I have sent you, I think, this question and answers, right? Do your people have? Yes, Pranav?
No,
Actually,
no.
I had a problem with downloading the file. So can you send again?
I will send it on WhatsApp also. Okay, you can download it
Okay,
from.
ma'am.
Yeah,
Okay.
it will be easier. I think WhatsApp sometimes it has some problem. Mm-hmm. So this is apartheid. I told you all. Study apartheid and segregation. And yeah, here is the detailed answer. Just study the detailed answer. When you study the long type answer, you will be automatically you will be able to solve the short answers also. And what is the next chapter? What is constitution? What is, yeah?
What is constitution and
What is
why
democracy?
democracy?
Why
Yes,
democracy?
ma'am.
Yeah.
What is democracy and why democracy?
Okay. Let's take up the first important question. With the help of an example that prove that a democratic government is more accountable to form of government. Okay. Now, why do we need democracy? It is the same question. Okay. We can take the example of India. In India, the government is accountable to the citizen. Okay, though if you there if they ask you for an example, you can give the example of India. Okay, so government policies in India are based on democratic values. It is able to respond to the needs of the people. It holds multi-party elections. It responds to the needs of the people. It has opposition parties to criticize the government. If the government is doing anything, there is an opposition, they will say bad about the government policies no matter what. Okay, so in this way, people are able to pinpoint what are the defects of a policy or something. So what is the work of the opposition? Its job is to criticize the government. Okay. Now democracy ensures the decision making will be based on norms and procedures. So a citizen who wants to know if a decision was taken through the correct procedure can find it out. This is known as transparency. So it shows democracy produces a government which allows the procedures and is accountable to the government. A democratic government rules within limits set by the constitutional law. The government cannot do whatever it wishes. It has to follow the constitutional law and it has to protect the citizens' rights. So things can change when the citizens' right is in accord. Okay, now democracy provides a method to deal with differences and conflicts. Like I told you, the citizen is at most important. It is suitable in countries like India. India has diversity of language, religion, and culture. It is better than other forms of government because it allows us to correct our own mistakes. Okay, the constitution laws can be changed if there is a problem. Okay, now democracy also increases the dignity of the citizen. The dignity of the citizen is important because it is based on the principles of a political equality. You just have to cut this off. Principle of the political equality. This means that the poorest and the least educated have the same status as the rich and the educated. Okay. Next, democracy is the most popular form of government emerging in the modern times. Still, the shortcomings cannot be ruled out. Okay, justify the statements of assessing any five shortcomings of democracy. It is hot, that means it is important. Okay. So first, what is the popular? Why everybody wants the you when this question comes, you can just understand the basic of the question. What they're asking, they're asking why democracy is important, why we should use, why other countries and every country should go for democracy. Okay, so the first point is instability. Okay, under democracy leaders and political lead and parties keep changing. This leads to political instability, low
Ma'am, can
morality.
you show the question?
Yeah. Okay, you see the question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So we have to talk about shortcomings of democracy. Why democracy is bad? You can say cons of a democracy. Okay, so it is instability is there. When we have a government, we are happy with it. But what happens in the next tenure of the they are out of the government and a new political party is come. So this leads to instability. Now, low morality, democracy is all about political competition. So and power play. So it is all about power play and the rights of the citizen is at a bay. So there is no scope for morality. Delays in decision making because a government cannot make a decision. It has to rely on the citizen. It has to rely on the judiciary system. It has to rely on the constitutional policies. So all these leads to delays in decision making. All the decisions are to be approved and discussed in the parliament, and many people and institutions are to be consulted. So it leads to delay in decision making. Now, many times there are bad decisions that are made, okay, as most of the leaders do not know the best interest of the people, it leads to bad decisions. Corruption is there. As the democracy is based on electoral competition, it leads to corruption. Why booth capturing is there, and there are so many other things that happen. Many political parties use muscle and money power, okay, to come to power. Okay, next is illiterate and politically unconscious voters. People do not know who to vote. People do not know. They do not even know who the person is standing for election. What is his background? What is his achievement? What is his criminal records? Does he have a criminal record? They do not care. Okay. So in most of the developing countries, voters are illiterate. Why? Because they are illiterate. They have no knowledge and they are politically unconscious. Who cares, right? Who cares what is his background? Okay, I just have to go and put a stamp somewhere. I'll do it anyway, and then I'm done with it. So people are not aware. So these are the shortcomings, or you can say cons. You can say shortcomings is there, or this can say cons, or you can say the the other side of democracy of a democracy. Okay, next we have why democracy is considered to be the best option. Now, when we say best option, we have to talk about the pros, right? Why is it good? That the earlier question we took the bad points. Okay, we took the cons. Now here you can say we are taking the pros. Okay, it is an accountable government. Democracy is better than any other form of government because it represents the needs of the people. It does not depend on the whim of the ruler or the dictator. So they cannot, the ruler and the dictator cannot go by their own choice, and they have to listen to the people. Okay, it is accountable form of government. Now next is based on consultation discussion. They cannot do what you cannot do what it wishes. Okay, it has to do consultation. He has to discuss. He has to follow. Democracy is based on consultation and discussion. As such, many mistakes are corrected in time. Okay, thus democracy improves the quality of decision making. Now this deals with, next is deals with differences. Democracy provides a peaceful solution to every problem. This provides the best method of dealing with differences and conflicts. Now religion, caste and creeds discussion lead to the solution of every problem, so it keeps our country united. So that was the reason to hold this unity only. We had taken, India had taken up the secular policy. Okay, so that people would not fight among themselves. Next is political equality. Now, democracy gives equality to all. No, there is no caste and creed. There is no illiterate and educated. There is no rich or poor. Everybody is respected, and there is the constitution. Enhances the dignity of every citizen. Okay, now there is always a room for correction when there is a democracy. There is no rigid laws. It is only in democracy that mistakes are admitted and all attempts are made to correct these mistakes. If mistakes are made, it is only in democracy that are admitted and then corrected. In democracy, thus there is a room for correction. Okay, now democracy provides the opportunity to the citizen to flourish according to his ability, according to their ability. Okay, they can go for any kind of a job, they can travel all around the country. Okay, and they have equal opportunities, you can say. Okay, what are the major features of democratic government? It is the same thing. Okay, kind of this is responsible. Okay, a possibility of good laws. Okay, political education is there. No, let's do responsible government. Okay, democratic government is responsible government. The representatives elected by by the people on the basis of universal uh, adult franchise. Sorry, this is a mistake. Okay, adult franchise to remain responsible to the people, and in case they do not remain responsible before the bill, people can change them during the next election. Possibility of good laws in a democratic government, the representatives have a direct relation with the people, therefore they properly understand their problems and interests. They properly represent the interests of the people in the assemblies, okay, because the people have elected them, okay, and if they will not represent, the people will change them, they will elect somebody else, and the parliament is always tries to get good laws passed. Now, political education, the greatest merit of democracy is its educative value. Participation in elections and other political activities made the people intelligent and politically conscious. Okay, whenever if a person is standing for elections, what he does, he gives out speech. He talks about the rules. He talks about the regulation. He talks about the government programs. So what is he doing? He is educating everybody. He is giving them political education. Okay. Okay. Next is based on liberty. Democracy is based on liberty and fraternity. Now, in democracy, the rights and the liberty. Why everybody is logging off? In democracy, the rights of and the liberty of the people are well safeguarded. People are given freedom to express their views without any fear. They can criticize the wrong policies of the government. Okay, now next we have respect the principles of equality. Okay, in democracy, all are equal in the eyes of law, and no discrimination is done on the basis of birth, race, caste, color, sex, religion. All citizens are equal, get equal opportunities to participate in the affairs of the state. They can go for any job. They can go for any opportunity. Now, government based on the will of the people. Democracy is based on the will of the people, and it functions according to their consent. The government cannot ignore the interest of the people. Okay, let us talk about the characteristics. It is the same thing, the salient features. Okay. Explain the representative democracy. It is the same thing. You have to, if you go over it, write any 5 arguments in favor and 5 against. Okay. Now this is pros and cons. You can say that you have done. Okay. You in favor and in against. Okay, so democratic form of government is accountable. You have to also give some examples about the yeah. This is there some features of the non-democratic country. What is it? What makes us better? What are the features of the non-democratic government? One, so in some common democratic is there. You can do this. Yes, you have to take this example of the Zimbabwe. Not why Zimbabwe is not considered a democratic government. Okay, now the same party ruling is there. Okay, and unfair elections is there. Change of constitution to favor the government. Okay, suppression of opposition. Okay, right to freedom is missing. So that's why it is not a democratic government. Fine. Okay, Sampath and Shravan, only you two are left. I don't know why the others have logged off. So I'm going to share this both chapters, question and answers with you all. Okay, and go through it. Even you people are having exams, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay then. Okay then, I'll share it. You have any questions? I can ask me.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No? Okay then. So next class we will continue socialism and the Russian Revolution.
Russian
Fine?
rules. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Bye. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am. Bye.